Chris Duffin here at the Kabuki Strength Lounge, and I'm sitting here with Chad Aichs. Yes, the Mr. Chad Aichs. And you young lifters may not know who he is, so I'm going to introduce him with all the accolades and everything that just... He used to lift big weights. That's pretty much it. So he used to be somebody.
I wasn't bad in my day.
He wasn't bad in his day. I'll say that. He was not bad in his day. There are many lifters that looked up to this man. And so if you don't know who he is, look him up. He's also a tremendous writer. And I really love some of the things that he shares. We'll probably talk a little bit about that in the interview because some topics I've actually opened up about this last year that Chad has some depth of dealing with and sharing with the public, which is hard to do. So, but speaking of the the depression issues and the sleep, the narcolepsy, all that sort of stuff, I'm sure you get this feedback a lot that because you've been pretty humble or very open with sharing that. So in your blogging and I know a lot of people will really appreciate, because there's a lot of people that suffer with those types of mental health issues, and like seeing someone that they look up to that's talking about it and dealing with it can have a pretty big impact. And and I say that personally because I've only shared it once in like one video blog, but the depression and bipolar issues are things that run in my family and something I've dealt with since I was a teenager. Fortunately for me, I knew very early on what it was, so I have a lot of strategies on how to deal with it and approach, and so I don't think I've ever dealt with the depth of it that you have, like not knowing what it is or how it's triggered or all those walking through that.
Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you. It's that can be a difficult thing. Like I said, I've only talked about mine once, and I do a lot of blogging and at least video stuff, and because it's a hard topic to talk about. It's very hard to talk about.
It's hard for me to write, but when you're writing, you're home and alone. On video, it's way harder.
Yeah,
but it's like you thanking me for it. I don't know. Like in my mind, I have to do it. Like because I can, so I have to.
Yeah.
So I don't see it as a big deal. It's just like I have to. Like if I have the ability to do this and I have whatever fame I have to reach people, like it's just I have to. Like I can't not do it. Like that would just be wrong to me.
Yeah. So thanks to me, and I'm sure you've gotten that feedback quite a bit, like via comments and stuff through the last few years.
I've had. So actually, the first one I wrote, I was in a really, 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 really bad place, and like sitting in my living room going like this.
Oh, fuck, man.
Like just running it through, and like fully loaded. Nastiest bullets I had, like it would have splattered my brains fucking all over the place. And I started running through people in my mind, like how they would deal with it. I came to my knees. Like I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And then I had kind of started learning ways to deal with it.
Yep.
So I sat there I had made my mind up right there, like I'm not doing this. I'm never ever doing this. But how the fuck am I going to deal with it? How am I going to get through this? And one of the ways I thought of was to write. And this was when I was still doing my training log. So I write this whole thing out and just about the whole situation. And I'll bet I stared at my computer for 2 hours. Delete, enter, delete, enter, delete, enter. And then finally it was kind of like the realization going over my head. Once I made it to my mind that I'm not doing this, that was like this complete clarity. Like, okay, I'm not doing it. Stop thinking about it. Figure out a way to do it. And staring at the screen, there was also that same moment where I went, you know what? Fuck it. Bam, going to bed. And then I got up in the morning and went, oh, what did I do? Like my sponsors, I'm just staring at the phone
Right.
going, I'm going to get calls and I'm like, I just screwed myself. And I got calls and they were awesome. And I started getting feedback. And I'm like, wow, cool. Actually, I had one of my sponsors called me up and talked about it, kind of told me about some of the issues he had. And like when I first picked up the phone, he goes, you got the biggest fucking balls of anybody I've ever met. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, I read your post. He goes, that's insane. That's awesome. And then we kind of started talking, and he dealt with some issues. And when I first did this, like he was always in my head. And especially more once I let it out the first time, like all the people that were calling me. And people that I had known for a long time that never said anything. And they thought they were alone. So the more feedback I got, the more I went, I have to talk about this. Like I have to talk about this because there's so many people dealing with it, even to varying degrees, that could be way better.
Yeah.
And like, maybe I can be the voice that lets everyone know you're not alone, you know? And for me, alone was fine. Like I still, to this day, so many people call me up and go, here's my number. If you you need to talk. That's not how I deal with it. Like I need to deal with it inside. But a lot of people aren't like that. No, they need to know that there's somebody out there.
I'm the same way. And like I had that moment like early in my life because, you know, I witnessed my father several times try to take his life when I was younger. And it's like, I knew that I had to not be that person ever. I couldn't be that, especially with the reliance on my family and other stuff. And so I've always, you know, been, that's my way, you know, is like just trying to give back to the world and the people around me. Like that's an important thing for me. But I had to reach that point very early because I knew how dangerous it could be.
Right.
But yeah, it was interesting, like just the one post I did, like the response I got, because there was several key people through my life that I connected very well with, but there was always something.
Right.
And then basically I found out they were facing the same issues, and probably why we connected the way that we did.
Right.
Because it's like you see that in someone else, right?
Yeah.
So it's you can. So yeah, it's interesting that way.
What also amazed me is the responses I got from people that are like, let's say mentally healthy. Even saying it's awesome that you did that. I told my friend to read this, or you know, whatever, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that is. So again, you know, I appreciate what you're doing. You're bigger man than me because I have only spoken to it once. So
I just do what I have to do.
So, I think you covered like kind of where you're going, and you know, how do you see yourself, you know, contributing to the sport these days? What's your plans?
I just started an Instagram account.
I know you did, Mr. I don't do social media.
Yeah,
That's a surprise me. I saw you post on. It's tag me in a post.
It surprised me that I did it. Like I've been feeling better. I've been feeling a lot better. I've been doing a lot better. The funny thing about being bipolar is you have hypermania episodes.
I was gonna bring. I don't know. I didn't know if we want to go into that, but like
all the doctors I know are like, "Oh, that's not good." I go, "Not good. That's the shit, man. Hypermania is awesome."
You're sitting there talking to me like, "How did you get all this stuff done with your business this last year?" I'm like, "You know how it's done. When you're there, you're king of the world, and you can just fucking get everything done."
You do that.
Yeah.
And I get into these hypermania episodes, and I'm like, I think I'm king of the world.
Exactly.
And all these ideas come, and I go, I'm doing this, and I'm doing this, and I'm doing this. And in the past, and even kind of now, I get myself in trouble. Because, like, my word, if you're a man, like, there's only certain things a man actually has. And one of them is your word. Like, that's the only thing nobody can ever take from you. So, like, hypermania or not, if I say I'm doing this, even when I'm down in the dumps, I'm still doing it.
You already committed to it.
Yeah, I'm doing it no matter what.
When you were king of the world and had the energy and the, you know,
So I kind of get myself in trouble, and I've been trying to watch that, but, you know, I just start feeling better in general. I'm like, yeah, I should do this. It'd be cool. This would be cool. And Jesse Anderson actually contacted me, and he's like, dude, you're the only like real guy that I can talk to that's actually done it. So I started helping him out, and he was really serious, and like I'm like, I gotta help this kid, man. Like,
he's reaching out.
Yeah, like that was kind of like me at one point, you know, I have to. And so I started helping him, and I actually started coaching him a little bit just recently, and like I'm actually having fun doing it. And I had some old sponsors that called me up and still possibly want to work with me, and I actually tried to pawn it off. I actually went, hey, if you're looking for powerlifters to sponsor, I got some new up and coming people that like, because I want to try to help out the elite guys.
Yep.
I want to try to help them. And he goes, well, that'd be cool, but I'm not doing it unless you're involved. And I'm like, oh, you guys are dragging me back in. I was out of social media. I was on all this shit, and you're pulling me back in. This is the mob. It's the damn powerlifting mob. So I'm starting to do more of that. And I always trained at American Iron Gym, which is an unbelievable gym. And they just added this huge facility on. And I've been training at home. Going through all this, it was just easier for me. And then, like, I kind of got to the point where, like, I need to like, get back to my roots. My roots were training in my basement when I was a kid, borrowing every weight I could from everyone I knew, going to garage sales. Eventually, my parents started helping me out. Christmases, birthdays, all I ever wanted was weightlifting quits. All I ever wanted. And I ended up building a nice gym, and I did it all by myself in my basement. And I'm like, I kind of need to get back to that,
right?
You know, especially like we're talking about the mental part. Like I need to rework everything. So I started lifting in my garage, and still talk to Bob and Tammy. They were in the gym because they were family. They were always really good to me. Go check out the gym, and my first thought is like, I can help out some of the elite guys. Like we need to start doing seminars here.
Yeah.
And you know, my thought was like, I'll throw this out there, help these guys. I'm back in the desert. And it didn't work out that way. I started getting pulled into it. And they're like, hey, we want to do a podcast for the gym, and we want you to do it. And I'm like, it sounds really fun, but okay, I'll do it. And I mean, it's fun. I'm enjoying it.
Right.
I love doing the podcast I do because it's up to me. Whatever the hell I want to talk about, I talk about. So I'm talking to shit. I feel like I'm talking to shit.
Well, don't worry. I think we'll break this into a two-part interview series. So
where I'm at now is I'm kind of having fun with this stuff. I'm having fun. Like Jesse's so dedicated that's just to see that like warms my heart.
Right.
To see a kid that wants to actually do this because that's so rare nowadays. So I'm trying to get involved, and I'm trying to help out some of the newer lifters. And you know, on Team Elite, we got some great young guys coming up, and I'm like, if I can help them, I want to. So I'm getting back into it. I'm having a little fun coaching. So the original question like 2 hours ago was where do I see myself in the sport? Honestly, I haven't thought a lot about it. I see myself probably coaching a couple guys, not a whole lot. I'd like to see what I could do with the podcast and stuff. There's a lot of stuff out there that's just, the content's kind of crappy, where they're not really dealing with the people. Like the vision I have is when I got to meet top lifters before, it was awesome, and I loved talking training, but I honestly had more fun learning who they were.
We're gonna do a little of that tomorrow, right?
Yes, we're definitely doing that tomorrow. And I'm like, I had this great opportunity to meet all these people I looked up to and learn who they were. Like, I think I could do that with a podcast.
Absolutely.
For everybody.
Yeah.
To go, hey, here's Chris Duffin. You already know he's strong as shit. You already know all this crap. Let's find like something else. Let's let you let something else.
No, I think that's a good approach. I think people really enjoy that. So I'll be on the line looking out for that.
Yeah.
So. All right, Chad. Well, I want to thank you for your time today. I'm sure everybody's going to enjoy this piece, and appreciate that. So
I think the time you gave me today was like more valuable. I can't wait to get back to the gym, and like right now I'm just worried about like filing all this information where I can get back to it.
If you want to maximize your strength and the longevity of your athletic career, or just support the production of further content, click on this video to the link to our store to check out our full line of products.